Alright, fuck it.
I've got some very basic notes, and that's it.
Alright, well...
We shopped.
Yeah, I was about to say, Adrian's got it right there, like, as a catch-up. Shopping is one of the major things that happened. We've also got to mention that there was a date between Anna and Alwyn, which Maisie just kind of slid on in and became the third wheel. Yeah. And you guys went to the World of Ruin to collect her spellbook. And you swiftly learnt that no matter what you do, whenever you arrive in the World of Ruin, that Balan will be there. That his core soul will always alert him to your presence. After that, we had a bit of a thing where Elzef insulted some teleportation master.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That looks very modern, Anna. Yeah,
Yes,
Elspeth insulted the teleportation master, and because she's shit at her job, that caused her to teleport them to a different place, so we had to pay double for the teleport.
Yeah, a lighthouse near Atlantia.
All of this, of course, which happened after you refused to actually pay Alan or me for, that are commonly paid.
Yeah, I mean, Elspeth is going to start charging to cast heal on you guys. So.
Yeah, Makar's going to start charging per point of damage received in the line of duty.
The difference is this was for your pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure in terms of getting items to keep ourselves alive for longer so we can destroy the big bad.
I feel like buying items to save the world is not personal pleasure.
I'm with Adrian here. Orwin also had a discussion with the collector of souls in our world as well for a bit.
Excuse me, what?
He had I can't remember the guy's name. Orwin was talking to
he was talking to the world soul to be.
The world soul to be. That was
yeah, secret.
I said that collector of souls. That's
Okay, yeah,
but it's a woman, Curtis. It's not a man.
You made it sound like the Grim Reaper had turned up.
The collector of souls.
Yeah, we're really.
Jones.
Yeah. The Sea Soul turned up and basically made a deal with Orlin, stating that when his puny human lifetime comes to an end, the deal is that she will take the Mana Soul from him. And while that is the deal, she will help Orwin defend Midgard, being that she plans to be the World Soul. There would be no world left to defend if she didn't help. So there was that. And I think that concludes the day. You arrived back in New Neria after a day of shopping. It was evening time. I'm assuming that you all spent the evening relaxing, and we move on to the next day.
Uh-huh.
There it is then. The countdown moves down to 45. You remember it started at 58?
Yeah.
Slowly getting there.
13 days.
Yeah, only another year of gameplay left and we might reach it.
Yep. Oh, at some point, I highly expected you guys to just say, alright, we spent 2 weeks like building this or doing this. But you never did that. You were like, you know what?
Well,
we're
to
going
be
to go
fair, I tried. I did say we want to just spend like the next month in the hyperbolic time chamber to level up to 20. So, it's on you, really.
No, it's not. I do believe like you've gone and done things like the moment I gave you a countdown, you went and did Curtis's or Makrar's personal quest. You even went to the World of Ruin during that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done quite a lot in the last 2 weeks. So, it is a new morning. Everyone has woken up.
It's a new life for me. Everyone's cameras are struggling like fuck. Mine looks alright on my screen.
My camera just has a hard time passing all the beauty of my
Everyone was
unmade
just
bed.
touching up the cameras then.
You got an incredibly wide room as well. I just really struggled with the colour balance.
Let's be honest though, Alex. Orwin already does go Super Saiyan when he enters the mana form, so it hasn't been described that way, but it technically is that way.
Honey, orbital cannon.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need that filter to like green screen. Super sad.
Okay, well I'll get the game started off. So Orwin, upon waking up in the shop, you receive a sending from your father.
Ooh.
Far away.
Hope you're all well, Orwin. Been a great time. Me and Lantix visited the last Star Drake. What a downer. And then that's all you get.
Okay. I think he just replies something along the lines of, I'm glad you're having a good time while we're dealing with this shit. Laughing, crying eyes emoji.
Oh, brilliant.
And if you've got the spell slots, tell me everything.
Alright, you get another message.
He literally has a stone of sending. You can just communicate.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what's happening then. You get a response of, it's been interesting listening to this Star Drake. His story may collide with ours, or yours. He knew Dolaf some time ago. And then it ends.
He just gets a reply that's like ...
Oh, you wish me to continue? Well, it turns out that Dolaf, a century ago, was a hero. Very well-respected elf. And then, that's it.
Well, I suppose that's something to look into. Or is it? He's still a shit now, so...
Well,
yeah.
the Star Drake was there when it all went down. Said that Dolaf himself was a powerful hero and that he helped this Star Drake fight off a great evil.
Well, I don't know if 45 days is enough for reform, so... probably still not the best information.
And then you get a response. All I am saying, son, is that maybe there is something still left inside him. Something that can be appealed to.
Well, if it comes to it, thank you. Maybe it'll be useful.
Right, and then you get like a multimedia message come through, like a picture of him and Lantix in front of the star, like it's an illusion, yeah. Yeah, and the Star Trek doesn't look happy. He's like got all this like luminescent skin that's all kind of exploding with nova and stuff, and in the background you just see this huge magical wall in front of the sun, and it's brilliant. Not even Lantix looks impressed with Gwandia's skills of Photoshop. He's like, he's applied a filter with the bunny ears.
Nice. Speaking of Photoshop, check your
Discord
at some point.
I did, yeah. I'll apply that when we're not in game at some point. It works. Alright. And, has the rest of you come to wakefulness? Is there anything you would like to do? Oh, actually, before we do, Maisie.
Yes?
And this is a message to Todd. I hope you're ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
As you come to wakefulness, Maisie, there's a sound downstairs. Like someone breaking in.
Big splice in time.
Like someone breaking in. You literally hear the shutters being prized apart.
Maisie kind of like shakes herself and pulls for one of her proverbial baseball cards. Hello? If you come in here, I've got a schlong the size of Mokhul itself, and I won't be hesitant to slap you round the face with it.
A voice does call up. A familiar voice. If you would like to roleplay both your characters, Todd.
Oh my god, how am I going to do this? Oh my god, I feared this time would come.
It's been a day and a half. He's made his way back through teleportation and stuff.
This is a duologue. Fear not, for you are in the house of Chisner Dekir, and I will slay a foul beast, even though the schlong is the size of Mokhul itself. And then she realizes, and please don't let me argue the toss with myself, because I will do it, and I will do it for hours, and it'll be the entire game.
You can.
What I will say is this: I'll set the scene. So he's walked in. He spots her, and you can see his facade immediately crumble away and just completely disappear as he stares at her. Ah, well, fuck. And they may or may not spend the next 2 hours having a proper fucking party. But what that would look like, I have absolutely no idea.
Only one way to find out, mate.
Oh yeah. Alright.
No! You can do a little bit. Show us a little bit of what it would be like.
How much damage do you roll for Maisie going for the kitchen knife and immediately going for his genital area?
A D4.
A D4?
It's a kitchen knife. It's an improvised weapon.
Maisie goes for it.
Alright.
Jesus, fuck off, fucking hell. Man's only got so much left to live for. You left me with an Irishman, a mad wizard, a fucking grumpy half-bitch, and a drunk. Yeah, alright, well I was busy, wasn't I? You know, I've got half of the... I've got things to do, I've saved the world and that. Oh, you're always off saving the world. You're always off doing this and that. Oh, Grildar's got some problem that I need to fix. And Gwendeth is... Wow, something about a dragon. What about me? I came out of proverbial hibernation, or as some people call it, say, being a rock, for about God knows how long, and I find that you've run off into the sunset with a dragon-slaying elf, chasing fairy tales again. And all I hear and see of the last 2-3 years while I've been away are these bullshit books. She like chucks down like the obvious bookshelf that he's got in with the little shrine to himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Well, you know, I had to take responsibility for some of the stuff I did, and X, I guess. I mean, I could really go on here.
No, we get the point. Yeah. So
point.
You argue for ages, but what's the conclusion to the argument?
That will happen when they're back with the group, I think. They'll probably go and agree to go back to the group. Chester wants to see everyone anyway.
Okay. Uh-oh, this is the reunion. Alright, so Elzef, where did you stay? Was it at the same tavern that you stayed at the other day? The night previous?
No, if Elzef stays at a tavern for too long, people act familiar with her, and she doesn't like that, so she went to a completely different tavern.
Alright, cool. Yeah, this one, near the marketplace, you know, high-end, like you wanted. Luxurious. As you stay the night and get up in the morning, the barkeep, a half-elf old fellow, ignores you like you asked, and you just go about your business, have your breakfast and leave. And when you walk out to the market square, it's the same thing as you've been seeing for the last couple of days here. Mokhul, or Nuneria, is in mobilization. You see around the market square a lot of people in uniform wearing the yellow cloaks of the kennels of the Hound Guard. And they all seem to be moving around on off-duty, eating breakfast, and you can tell some of them are in the middle of exercise. Just over the river, you can hear the shouts of marching, and you can hear the music being played.
I don't have anything to elaborate on, other than Elzef had 4 croissants for breakfast, and every single one of them with butter smeared on.
They're already made out of butter. Why do you need more butter on them? Fucking continentals.
Because Elzef is a crazy person.
Alright, about Macra then, waking up.
Macra goes for his kind of ritual morning swim whenever he can get in. I guess he's in the right place. He's pretty close to the water where he's actually stayed in Shiredale that night, so he'll go for a swim. And then he's going to try get hold of Maisie, just because he feels like she's attractive and can probably get a discount on some elven boots for him. Because when he tried to do it by himself with Elzef, it didn't go particularly well.
Yeah, that's fair. And we
he
go.
may also potentially get accosted by Orwin at some point as well.
Alright, fair enough. So we can do that meeting up in a minute, and you can approach the house as they're arguing as well, but we'll see what Laniros is doing first, if he's going to join with the group or if he needs to organise anything this morning.
No, I think after the meetings that happened, he's not got anything particular that he wants to arrange, so waiting for everyone to be ready to move on.
Are you heading to find them? Are you heading to find them, or are you staying in your chambers?
No, I mean, I'll stay with it because I have no idea where they are, so I'll wait.
Yep.
Fine.
Alright, so Macra, and Orwin and Elsef meet up on the road through the Injuly Valley, heading towards Chester's house, where you know Maisie to be. So you've all met up there just before the house.
And
you're
I
not.
guess you can hear shouting as you approach. I guess if they're on their way, they'll still be shouting into the late fucking.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, right, Macra. I'm just saying I'm going to need you to come back to the shop because that bag of gold you dropped off this morning, I can't even lift it. So you got to take it to the bank for me or something, or a jeweler's, just to piece it down to something smaller.
Yeah, I did think about turning this into jewels, but I thought it was funny if I just did it like that. It's quite comical.
Champion of the fucking arena? Is that the best you've got? Are you fucking kidding me? That is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever fucking heard!
The hell do you think that is?
Oh, I know exactly what that is, and it sounds amazing.
Tell me right now why I shouldn't go full gold dragon and swallow your tiny prick right here!
Kind of like just touch the two, but touch the two that's with us, and it's just kind of like touch, and it's just like, and then Macro starts like tiptoeing up to the house so he can eavesdrop more efficiently.
Do you not think we should be coming back later when they're done?
You on key stormtroopers? I was 6 and had a short story I'd written for homework painted on the fridge better than this.
I think if we want to come back when they're done, that's going to take a few years. So we just...
Macro's just goes back against the wall. He's just waiting for a comedically apt time to interrupt them.
A dance battle with a celestial bardic elf? Are you fucking nuts?
Macro walks in that point. Fucking bullshit that was as well. I should have won that.
Okay,
I think she's like super flushed. Oh, it's you. Macro, good to see you're still in these parts. Bit of privacy, old chap.
Yeah, not when we're around. Not after you've left your girlfriend hanging around with us for so long, mate.
See, he's just been nicked in the thigh with a kitchen knife, and he's like nursing a little bit of an injury. 2 damage worth, to be precise. Right you are. Well, perhaps it's good you're here. I should fill you in as well on my deeds and exploits. Cut the shit, you. Just goes out into the back room.
Oh yeah, how's our dwarven little dragon slayer?
Vindicated.
Fucking hell, Josh, we did it.
Your timing could not be more fortuitous. Are the others with him?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Behind me after I've dodged.
Elsef shows up with a bag full of croissants.
Exquisite and humble and delightful Elsef. It's been a while. Backstreet boy, good to see you're still here. I thought you'd die quite quickly.
Thanks.
Mm.
Oh, and what?
Looks like the gang's all here. Well, yes, you've covered a good time. Me and my darling fiancée are working things out, as you can see. It's gone quite well. And you'll be pleased to know that the dragon, formerly known as Lady Greenridge, has been dispatched. On my way back, Devo has been liberated, thanks to efforts of myself and others.
Liberated as in completely fixed, no longer turned to stone and zombie infested.
As far as I have seen, yes. I can't speak for it in its present state, but I do believe I've run into a foe you've encountered previously as well, in my travels there.
Who?
Some mechanical witch of some kind. Cogs in the head. What is it? She was like the dog sitter. No, she was the Mary Poppins. No, Nanny, I think she called herself.
This one's babysitter, yeah.
Master Decker, a question.
Oh, how's it? I've always enjoyed your cheery countenance.
Do you plan to only fuck one of the personalities, or are you gonna fuck all 8 of them?
What's
your girlfriend? She's kinda cuckoo.
Yes, he looked down at the kitchen knife. Well, I had a brief brush with her trying to slice one's pickle, but that's natural anger for what I did, and I will reconcile with her in due course, of course.
She did say she was going to cut off your dick multiple times.
Yeah, she did always refer to the dick chopping, yeah.
Oh, fucking... Oh,
Alarming frequency.
Yes, well, thank you. I am most grateful for you looking after my fiancée in my absence. I have now returned and wish to, of course, assist you in your endeavours to save what is left of our humble, broken empire.
What's Maisie going to do?
Well, that remains to be seen, of course. I shall, of course, speak with her, and I always envisioned us ending up in Longinia, but that was when romance still had a spark. Perhaps that's a conversation for another time.
I, for one, vote to veto the return of Chester and much prefer Maisie. Anybody else?
No. I don't think anyone would vote for that.
I'd rather they both stick around because, we've got a lot of shit to be dealing with.
It depends on what jobs we've got actually to do now where we all need to stick together. I guess Maisie with her research might be a bit better hanging around and doing some research, I guess. Now that your dad's fucked off into space with the next best researcher that we know, maybe it's best that we've got one on the ground. Maybe her and, what's her surname? Anna Spell something. Maybe they can...
good Anna! Yes. I'm glad she wasn't mentioned before.
Yeah, she's back from the dead. Apparently she died and all of us forgot about her existence.
Yes, that is odd, isn't it? For a time I did as well. I presumed it was other things.
She's really scared about it as well, and I feel like it's perfectly reasonable that we forgot about it. And I feel like it's perfectly reasonable that we forgot about it. And I feel like it's perfectly reasonable that...
Elvis, are you quite alright?
No, I'm still on my fifth breakfast croissant.
Right. Right you are. Well, to be fair, I've just remember you being cheerier.
You were talking to me when I was a half-soulless husk.
Right.
Yeah, she's a lot more annoying now. She's got the other half of the soul. You wouldn't have thought it. We were really banking on the other half of the soul being, better half. No.
Congratulations on completing your thematic arc.
You did that. That's why I stuck around with your bipolar girlfriend.
Right. And I am very grateful. This bipolar business, never mind. I shall work it out eventually. Her safety is my number one priority, and then, of course, you may consider yourselves saved, for I have returned.
No, we should discuss the bipolar business, unless you at one point just want to start hearing an Irish accent when you're plowing her.
It's not an iron. What the fuck, guys?
You just look so confused. Right.
I'll also just weigh in. I don't think it's bipolar. I think you're thinking of a different disease.
I don't think he's getting anywhere close to plowing here for a long while.
Well, not if she cuts off his dick.
What I was alluding to.
Hell hath no fury. And all that.
Chester, I'm glad you're back, actually. You're quite good at buying shit. That's the first thing on the agenda for today. What else do we need to get up to, though?
Makra, he just, dropped a lot of very important information. I don't think shopping should be on the agenda. You killed Lady Greenrich, you said.
Yes.
But wasn't she allied with the... What do they call themselves right now? Whatever Alphadil's son has gotten in his head. Wasn't she, on our side, the world not going under side?
Well, she was. She definitely undertook some kind of inevitable betrayal, because she was there and prevented me from achieving my goals of aforementioning saving the world, and therefore people.
Was she there with Nanny?
That she was, yes.
Huh.
Well.
She seemed so nice when I met her.
Nanny died in a whirl of cogs on the floor.
Alright, so this is a little bit of info for Laneros there that would change a lot. Remember that the Alphadil's son, a little fact that you might have forgot, married Lady Greenridge.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fact. Therefore, I don't think the Broken Empire knows that their queen is dead.
Oh no, Gwendolyn was gonna go there and drop off the body, right? She'd definitely say that she killed Lady Greenridge.
Not yet, though. Like,
probably not a good choice to tell them, but she's definitely gonna say it.
Did we know that Nani was in league with Alphadil's son in Greenridge? Did we know that?
No, we didn't know that. That's new information. We don't know if Alphadil's son is in on it. We just know that Lady Greenridge was in on it now.
Right. Is Alphadil's son still alive then?
mm-hmm.
Is Nani still alive?
Well, that's a question for Chester.
Yeah, Macro was asking Chester. Curtis knows this because Curtis was there. Chester.
No, well, we don't know. She like did the classic villain thing where she disappeared.
Curtis knows this. Macro doesn't.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry, what was that?
Macro was asking in character whether you'd killed. I forgot Nani now.
Oh yeah, Chester fully believes that he has. Yes, she exploded in a hail of my rapier. I've got quite good at swordplay.
That sounds like bollocks.
That sounds very unlikely.
But it's going in my book, so fuck you. And of course, it's something that will be spoken about across the land. Yes, gone. She's dead. Nothing to fear. Of course, the dragon is too. You should have seen Gwendeth cry, poor girl. I, of course, got the killing blow.
What happened to Gwendeth then? Where's she gone?
She has gone to retire in a field and to run her hands through the corn as her dead son calls out to her.
What about...
Did you just say that Gwendeth was Russell Crowe?
Sounds like it.
But she was quite happy. You should receive. Actually, it was quite heartwarming.
I do recall Gwyneth being there shouting, "Are you not entertained?"
I think she did. She pulled her bow for the final strike on Lady Gwendeth, and all these strange, tiny, red little feet appeared around her. It's quite delightful. Missed, of course. I had to finish this job myself, but still touching. Very.
Whereas Russell Crowe is actually quite good in arena. Elsa famously very poor.
Everyone keeps messing up Elsa and Gwendolyn.
Oh, Gwendolyn. What do you mean the names are similar?
They're not similar at all.
They do remind me of each other, actually. But yes, she sends her regards. I think you're going to be FedExed some parts by a gentleman who spoke and acted quite like you. I've no real idea. I, of course, would pick up my effects from my fiancée, send her back to Longinia like a good little girl, and we will begin anon.
Master Decker, you might not be aware of this. The bad guys want to put the whatever divinity of the thing that's gonna crash down into the body of most likely your fiancée. So I don't think we should put her away. I think we should do what has been done in times memorial to teenage girls you can't control and lock her up in a tower somewhere.
Well, hang on. So what's our big bad guy wants to use her like some kind of what? Waste paper bin.
No,
like
a vessel.
More like a sock puppet.
Good analogy. I'm glad you didn't die. Well, in that case, then yes. Well, we're safer than somewhere like New Chester.
Everywhere else, we literally walked into the government building, recovered warheads from there, and walked out, and no one asked us questions.
I'm so glad Chester wasn't there when we got them.
I presume you saved me one of those weapons, of course.
No. We kept them far away from your future family and yourself.
I hope. What you are?
I would suggest maybe if Lineros wants to talk to the man upstairs, we could dump her off in the Feywild.
Who? The weapon or Maisie?
Macy. No.
No.
I think it would be funny to nuke the Fae Father, but I don't think we should.
That would be funny. Also, I don't trust the Fae Father as far as I can throw him. No offense.
No, either, I must say.
We keep
could,
it here. We keep it so we can keep at least somewhat close tabs on it. If not here, maybe go keep her with the kids.
Well, I'd happily bring her along, but some kind of unseen, all-knowing, omniscient power prevents us from being in the same room at the same time. So...
Is it the fact that she wants to cut off your dick?
I've never said. I haven't
Quite a
done.
compelling reason.
You can do whatever you want.
We could create a demiplane or something for her to reside on.
Yes, we can put little toys around and like a water trough. Huh.
Wow.
But you do want to marry this woman, yeah?
Of course.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Wow.
This must be the famous Longinian romance.
Right, so ignoring what we're going to do with Maisie, because I don't think that's that big of a deal, to be fair.
Oh god. Oh god, we've been raided. With 13 viewers. Just as you guys are being incredibly bad.
Oh, welcome.
What do you mean, just as? Normal?
The most immoral party ever, and they're just gonna join as you guys are being even more immoral. Hello everyone!
Get used to it.
I think like any inkling of morality left the party like 40 sessions ago.
Yeah, it went with Gwendath. Oh yeah, what happened to Georgie boy? Did he run off with Gwendath as well?
And he got a bit beaten up, and then I think he no, didn't he go with Chester? Remind me.
I think they wanted to rejoin the party.
Yeah, I think they're staying at the inn. Are they staying at the inn?
No, George and his wife went off on their own, didn't they?
I thought they went off to join the Waterford.
Mm-hmm. But not here. I don't think they're staying here.
All right.
Somewhere.
Where have they joined it?
I think the thought of George's thought of coming back to you guys was like, hell no. Like they managed to get my entire crew killed. I'm not going back to twice. I'm not going back to them.
But we also got him a new crew one time, so really, basically, we only killed his crew once, and that was Brenda.
No, they always say that
Of
the
course.
third time's the charm.
He was quite close with Gwendeth, and I think when she left the party and her roles were fulfilled, he decided to go elsewhere with it. I think if you're asking me the truth, they banged on the boat, so to speak.
What did you say? His
What
wife
do you
was
mean,
there?
so to speak?
Did this?
Sorry, Lineros, I thought I forgot you were a brood. Allow me to explain. They had sex on the pirate ship.
Yes, so there's no so to speak. You can.
Yeah, on the married as well.
Right you are, they canoodled on the canoe.
I want to point out that Chester
on
is
the gondola.
that Chester is a bard. Everyone, like this is the only way I can explain the behaviour coming from Chester.
It's no excuse for that being a bard.
Boat swan.
Right, so
My housemate's going to hear me. The door's wide open.
No.
So we figured out what. So Maisie, we can worry about what we're doing with her later. Gwendaff's disappeared.
She's
George
not disappeared. Chester literally knows where she is, but he keeps lying about where she is.
Macro's relaying the information that he currently has. George and his wife have gone to fight the war somewhere else. You don't know where.
Correct, we don't know where.
Do you just not ask questions?
Chester, why are we getting a mission debrief from Chester? It's absolutely useless.
Oh, I stopped listening after like the first 5 words after he said he killed a dragon.
Right,
I did tell you
somewhat I
we should
believe
go,
that.
but you wanted to come in and sneak up on them, so that's why we're here.
Right, yeah, well, it was funny listening to him fight. What do we do next then? What's our next plan of attack? What are we up to?
Now, is Laneros, are you still mopey, or are you going to teleport me to the tomb of Mystra?
for any reasonable purpose, I can do that.
Well, I think looking at the place of the probably final battle is a reasonable purpose, but you might disagree.
I do not.
Laneros, I should have probably asked this before, but has the council sent any kind of missive to the other nations about what's going on?
Well, the current status of that is... Enter GM.
Sorry, what was that?
Owen was asking a very good question. What the council is currently doing as far as it goes with other nations being aware of what's coming.
Yeah, so they have, of course, sent out a lot of emissaries to different places, including Longinia, Atlantia, and they're well aware. I mean, they're well aware of the situation. But what you've got to realise, and of course Laneros, your character, would know, that when it comes to certain nations in the east, they've always been very isolated. They've always been very kind of look after oneself, and if the trouble comes to them, they'll deal with it then. You have, however, managed to ally with Longinia, and most of the western nations along the coast are kind of under Dolaf's control. Like from Bulwark up to Nordrak and part of Rhineland and the Wildlands are owned by Dolaf's kind of nation. So you're going to get no help from there, obviously. And remember, you've got the rumour of the Blue Desert people from the southwest have also joined up with Dolaf. You heard that they have a Yellow Prince of their own that united their islands, and that the reason why Dolaf has such a giant navy is because he's allied with that Yellow Prince. So when it comes to that, and when it comes to the United Realms, you've also realised that when you've been to the capital island that they're kind of really secluded. Their High Senator, Antoist, keeps them kind of segregated from the rest of the world. He kind of like keeps the outside world outside so that the people inside are safe. Like, the way I kind of say it is, you know, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. It's very much like that. Everyone inside, when you went there and you saw that the veterans kind of were the only people that knew that there was a war outside the island, you realise that they, you know, without actually physically meeting with any senators from the United Realms, you won't get any help from there.
Aren't we? Isn't Nuneria allying with the pirates? Didn't you say something about that?
Yes. So the Shahs that rule over the Wetway waters are also helping. Grildar has managed to establish basically pardons for them all.
See, he's helping.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have, like, Capital Island or something than some privateers, to be honest.
Yeah, the idea is that, obviously, Capital Island doesn't have a navy. So...
I mean, one of the Shahs nearly got screwed over by 10 snakes and a dagger, so... I wouldn't exactly say this is, like, a great move for us. What else?
So there's something else to know, Alwyn, or is that sufficiently answer your questions?
Isn't your big...
It answers my questions, but not in the way I hoped for, to be honest. I thought we might get some more support, but I suppose it's hard to change the mind of a nation.
It is.
Laneros, aren't you know, a big shot in the Feywild? Isn't your big Fey daddy gonna send, like, a man with a sword or something?
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're very big Fey daddy. Isn't he gonna send, like, an army or something?
No.
Wow. You really tried hard for that, didn't you?
Well, we can't expect any militaristic reinforcements from him.
Not here.
Why, are they going to be attacking them in the Feywild as well?
Most likely.
Maybe get confirmation on that then, because we could probably do with them here if not. Because surely them taking over here fucks him as well.
Perhaps. Not necessarily.
I thought he was petrified. Yeah,
I just thought he was here in the back room, like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, really. Like, he's obviously come back and he's trying to make amends. No, fuck him. We should kill him in his sleep. Oh, I was just so sad.
Is this what stress does to it?
That does sound alarming.
I think it's just what Chester does to her, to be honest.
Well, stress. Right then, so we're going to explore the Tomb of Mystra a bit further then to see what the crack is, see if there's anything immediately we can stop there. I kind of feel like we're up shit creek without a paddle at the moment. The paddle being an idea of what the fuck to do. But I guess Mystra's tomb is a bit of a start.
I still think we should consider blowing it up.
We can blow it up if we go there and determine it needs blowing up, but let's go have a look at it.
I'm still not following what we get out of blowing it up, right?
Well, first off, blowing up the Tomb of Mystra would be a very satisfying personal experience.
Pretty cool.
It would look very good on my resume, not as a crafter.
Just in general.
Like, the kind of goes against it,
It is quite the opposite
Please,
of
if you
what
have
I do.
anything actually serious to offer, I'd love to hear it, because at the moment I'm struggling to see why.
Well, we know they're gonna move to the Tomb of Mystra and establish a defensive position. So if they build up their barricades around the Tomb of Mystra, and we blow it up, it's gonna kill a lot of them.
Well, that implies that we'd blow it up when they're there. But if they're already there, then it's already defensible. So how are you going to blow it up?
Well, we don't know
And also,
if we're there or not. Because
I think they want to go
Raniros
there
didn't...
because of Mystra, right? They want to go there because of Mystra. Because
Yeah, I mean,
they
that's
want to
the
potentially
downside
use her
of
as an
blowing it up.
avatar. So, if they're there, then they've got Mystra as an avatar. So, not good. But blowing it up doesn't help that, does it?
No. Which is why maybe I wanted to go there as soon as possible, like yesterday when Laniros was mopey and didn't want to teleport me. But we went shopping instead. Today,
Well, that's because yesterday you still wanted to blow it up. So, it's understandable.
No, well, yesterday, more kind of in the evening, when we attuned to the warheads, I wanted to blow it up. But I got over that because we would have blown Mystra up as well.
Exactly. So what we need to do with is potentially moving or making safe Mystra's avatar.
Yes.
So no blowing up.
Well,
Good.
if we
Glad
get
got
to
it
move
straight.
Mystra's avatar, we could blow it up.
Sure, then you can do what you like. But the focus, and the only important part, is making safe Mystra's avatar.
Yes.
Good.
We
So
could
how
blow
do we go
out
about
of
doing
it.
that?
Well, I think it goes something like this. Poof, and I'll teleport us.
Oh, I didn't go yet!
So instead of Magpie getting his morning shopping in for his elvish boots that he so desperately wants, you are all teleporting to the Tomb of Mystra.
I mean, he can stay behind if he's unwilling.
He comes with, boy, he's fuming, he's there without his nice boots. I guess they're not desperate yet.
It's a tomb full of magical artifacts. I'm sure you can find some elvish boots on one of the 1,000 corpses in the corpse room.
Shouts up at the sky. Oi! Make sure it's fucking boots in here!
What would you say is the familiarity of the Tomb of Mystra?
Well, Laniros, you've never been there.
Have
Have
shown
you?
you on a map where it is.
Yeah, you've shown me on the map, so you could... I would say you would get, you would never actually fail and end up inside Ra's Peak, for example. You will always be somewhere nearby, at least within walking distance if you cast teleport.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if you... Elzef's been there, Makrar's been there, they can describe what's there, and they can also describe the location.
Alright.
Yep. So, is that a 24, yeah?
It is.
Let me just quickly look that up.
Chester has also been there, but I feel like he'd probably lie about it and make you fail the check.
Question, where is the orb from?
What orb? Oh, the puzzle orb. Oh, it's from here. So yeah, you can get here easy.
Since it's an associated object, yeah.
Yeah, it's associated object, so yeah, it's on target anyway.
Yeah.
Is it from there?
Yeah, it's Mystra's orb. I think it was handed down somehow to
was.
Laniros. I think originally Xerxil didn't have it. I think originally Gwendef had it, and then she passed it on to someone else, maybe? No, can't have been.
Can't imagine Gwendef had it.
No, I swear Laneros must have just had it. Or Grildar had it, and it got put in the party loot, and now you've handed it down to you.
I think that's probably what happened.
God, for the next campaign, we've got to figure out loot management in like a better way.
We need some sort of...
like delete the loot that sunk with the ship when it sunk.
Yeah, wait, have we had any PC deaths in this campaign? We've had one, haven't we? With Xerxil, for sure.
Well, we still have Xerxil's copy running around, so I wouldn't even count
Yeah,
that.
so I would say, one of Rocket's PCs died in a climactic boss battle, but just before the boss battle, he came across a cloning mirror, which made his alignment opposite, so there was a good version of him running around somewhere now.
Just instinctively evil to the core.
Yeah,
What's more terrifying?
Yeah, I tried setting up a trap where you'd have that kind of Zelda-esque shadow version of each of you, but you were an evil character, Rocket.
Got an evil character going past it.
So a good character came out of the mirror and ran off. Yeah. So it was a bit crazy.
That's not truly evil, just want crunchy spice.
There you go. Oh, I do miss it.
At
So.
any cost.
That's not
That was what he sounded like. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
That was a good run.
how I remember it in my heart.
Mm.
Yeah,
It all depends on how late into the session it was, because my voice would just start going along the way.
Yeah.
like it was lighter. It was like happiness.
Xerxil was never happy.
when there's crunchy spice.
Yeah, that's it. See, that's it.
Yeah.
Dog crunchy spice, of course he's happy.
Can't believe the God King got slain by a lizard who kept talking about eating bees.
Well, I think he ran in and just AoE'd everything, if I believe. The simulacrum went down, the AoE came in.
He just went nuts.
Mm.
Thank God he didn't have warheads then.
That'd be scary.
So, but we teleported.
We teleported, yes.
Chester's such an asshole.
So, what are we going to do about this situation?
Well, first we need to figure out if there is an army already there, right?
Yeah,
Look
let's really do
around, I assume.
investigation.
I think you need to investigate to find an army. I think it's just open your eyes.
The investigation wasn't just for the army; it was past that as well.
It depends on like
the preliminary stage of the investigation. We'd then go further if there wasn't an army.
it depends on like what fantasy franchise's logic we're operating on. If it's Game of Thrones in the later seasons logic, then an entire army of boats can just appear on top of you without you noticing. So
Yeah, remember those boats were seen in Port Phobos when you went to go to the Crystal Underdark, so 2 weeks ago?
we also encountered the army in the desert, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we've
Is
also
there an
established that,
immediately
like,
apparent army?
No.
Cool.
And no scouts seem to have noticed any yet.
because I don't think they know where the Tomb of Mystra is.
What?
Which in theory means if they're scrying on us, now they know where
Exactly.
the Tomb of Mystra is. So maybe going here
to
was
see
a
this.
bad decision.
Well, yeah, okay, so the teleportation goes off, and I'm assuming Maisie's staying back, or are you bringing Maisie with you?
Depends on the
I
meal,
think
I
she was
guess.
out of the room, so I
Yeah,
assume
that's
she
in
the
don't get a
kitchen.
choice.
Yeah, okay. And at that moment, bang, you guys whoosh, and the first thing that happens is heat. As you just dry heat burning down upon you all, as you basically land outside the Tomb of Mystra. Below you is crumbled stone coming up at awkward angles. Around you are large pillars that line a crumbling road that lead down to big double doors, 15 foot wide and tall, and you see they're partially open. The remnants of the campsite that Macron and Elzif remember are still here, tent pegs, bits of overlapping furs. The merchant tent hadn't even been taken down, it's just blown over in the last couple of weeks. Well, it's been a couple of months actually. And the warforge that guarded the door is no longer there.
Ah,
Another
an
war.
illusion spell. I too am a sorcerer. This is an illusion, yes?
I'm not used to Chester being back. I need
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot Chester had been here as well, so of course, Chester, you remember the area.
Very nice, very nice.
He's back in the bar.
Feel free to drop this anytime you like.
Can we have a very, well, maybe brief, maybe not, recap with Mystra's avatar and her self-encasement and...
Okay.
I got this. I got this.
Let the player do it.
How excited Adrian is.
Because I pay attention, okay? So they had that big Ragnarok thing, right? Where Odin fought Mystra, and Odin mortally wounded Mystra as her avatar form. And because she didn't want to temporarily disband and disappear for a second, which would have caused the weave to drop, just as when Cassius' avatar was cast, she instead encased her avatar the moment before death in the Celestial Prison. So the second we're gonna remove the Celestial Prison, she'd die and the weave would break for a bit. And that's the state she's currently in.
Why would the weave only break for a bit?
Well, she needs time to reform.
Right, okay. Yeah, guess that's how Mystra works.
Do you think this thing that's coming, do you think that needs the weave to operate?
Yeah, I was thinking we could purposefully break the weave for a bit, because most of our enemies are high-level spellcasters, and hope that that gives us an edge.
That sounds pretty sweet. You know the power we get from these...
Does it?
The wizards.
You know how we get power from these nukes? Do you think that's affected by the weave?
No, it comes from out of this plane, so we could probably still drop the nuke, if that's what you're asking.
That's exactly what I'm asking, and it sounds fucking beautiful.
But since, 4 of the 5 members of this group really rely on the weave to do any amount of damage, this feels like a bit of a crapshot plan.
Well, you lot shouldn't be so dependent on things that can be taken away.
And we also don't know if the thing that comes from, the stars needs the weave, or if it has its own godly powers.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be Laneros and stand in front of a godly being and not be able to, do his counter-spelly nonsense.
That would be quite funny, though.
It would be. But I wouldn't want to be there.
Your logic fails you, Macra, but that's okay. I don't want to explain it to you.
I wouldn't listen anyway.
Precisely.
That's how you got where you are, Macro.
Still alive, aren't I?
Against all odds. Just like Master Decker over there.
Can I point out that you did die once?
He's twice, actually, now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chester died as well, actually. So...
Yeah,
not against all odds.
Chester's back
He
now.
did.
Elsif has also died once now, so... Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the only reason you got your ridiculous legendary item?
that's the only reason I purchased a ridiculous legendary item that is worse than just a regular mantle of spell resistance. Exactly.
It's a bit of an out there thought, but this thing, it wants to use Mystra's avatar as its own kind of avatar, right?
Yeah.
So, assuming it does that, are we assuming the weave doesn't break because he's keeping it alive somehow?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Maybe it controls the weave, which would be really bad for you guys.
And if that's true, is there a possibility that someone else could inhabit Mystra's avatar to sustain its life? And also potentially get it away from him? Stop him using it?
I think that's what we're here to find out, isn't it?
I do want to suggest that the last time someone tried to, power grab Mystra's stuff, shit broke.
It's not so much a power grab as helping her sustain this avatar so it doesn't die and, break the realm.
Yeah, I do like Alwyn's attempt here. So if this is just the avatar, we could still technically communicate with Mystra.
If you had a means to speak to a god and she was willing, yes.
We need a cleric and Mystra, I feel like. A powerful one.
Well, it's one of the things that I was thinking during the games. I earned Mystra's favour. Perhaps I could potentially speak to her in some manner, but I don't know if this is even theoretically possible.
Well, maybe getting a cleric of Mystra, they might have a bit more of an idea of how you can do it with the favour. Also, if you go in your minor soul state kind of thing, that might be quite useful.
What if, I'm just spitballing it, since we already teleported to the middle of the desert, we just have Owen here look at the big rock she's encased in and see
We're going to do that, obviously. I'm just on about... This is as we're walking there, I imagine. Yeah, obviously. But we're just going to see... We're coming up with contingency plans.
So we're in front of it. Liam described it.
Yeah, I was about so yeah, as you walk in to get out of the blazing sunshine, you walk underneath the massive mosaic. The image of that was underneath, well, on the ceiling, sorry, of Odin riding Strepnir, his six-legged horse, with a lance in hand, and stabbing straight through Mystra. On the other end, you see the army of the Netheres looking distraught as they look up at the Avatar being killed and obviously losing their war. On one side, you do see the Asgardians, which you all descend from, all brutal in their armor, their winged helms, their large-bitted axes. You see chariots riding from their end with Valkyries flying above. And seeing as you guys have actually fought some of the Valkyrie, you know how difficult they and powerful they can be. And you see that the setting is over the sea, which makes a lot of sense to Makra and Chester, because you found the first part of Carsus's Avatar scroll in a sunken city. And you can see that in the painting. And weirdly, none of it's faded. It's still as bright and vivid as the day it was painted by the Asgardians that won the war. And as you head further in and find the staircase that goes down, you find JF, the dwarvish ghost. And he looks towards you guys and nods, and you can see there's stacks of swords, chainmail, armour. Since you've been gone, this dwarvish ghost has been building and crafting. He recognises Makra and he recognises Chester.
Elsif was here as well.
Oh, it recognises Elsif as well. Yeah, because you are the main character that spoke to him, right? I mean, and you remember correctly, he spoke an old dialect of Common that you guys couldn't quite get to grips with.
I guess Elsif looks at his work if there's anything like we could make use of that's on our level range of usefulness.
They all look like master-crafted weapons, but that's about it. Master-crafted weapons and armour.
I guess we could move this to the Nunerian army and see if they can make use of it.
Yeah, as you go near it, the dwarf, Jaef, does stop and say, no. Points it, he goes, Minor. Points it himself.
I guess he can keep it. I'm not too fussed about this.
Why are you trying to rob this guy anyway?
Well, we gave him the tool, and I thought the deal was he'd make us something. But instead he just churned out armors like a factory worker.
Right, I didn't realize you'd given him some tool or something.
And we've done a lot of things you don't even realize.
Probably. Probably best to keep it that way as well.
Yeah, I feel like we've been quite morally not corrupt since you joined the party. I feel like you definitely wouldn't be if you know half the shit we'd done. Or witnessed it, at least, anyway.
I don't think we've done anything that terrible. I think like the worst thing I've done is summon that weird demon that was tormenting Thebo, and Chester fixed that, right, Chester?
Right. Oh, Gwyneth did blow up a town, though, by accident, of course.
Right,
Yeah,
so if you want to make it seem like what you're doing is not so bad, you probably shouldn't give examples of the really bad things you did.
Yeah, let's stop doing that. But we did even worse things than when you rocked up.
Yes, Makra doesn't have any kids.
Oh no, he visited them. They've turned out horribly.
Everything turned out, you were already on that trajectory when I was in the picture. Best we could hope for was some kind of change, but no, you've stayed rock solid on that path.
And you've worked really hard to prevent that.
Gwyneth owes me 2 gold pieces. I want to see her again.
I think you're just all being a bit racist to goblinoids, because I don't know if you know this is just how it happens.
As wonderful as it is finding out about your terrible, terrible pasts, we should probably focus on the task at hand.
Oh yeah, let's stop on our horrible, horrible past and look at this Nuneria's horrible, horrible past.
Makra continues to monologue about the awful parental practices of goblinoids.
And as you guys make your way further down, the air begins to get cooler and more humid. And as you pass through the dungeon that we've dived before, so I don't need to get the map out because I think you've basically 100% this dungeon. You move past and find the stairwell downstairs, and the same corridor set with the traps. The boulders, however, are still in place, so you guys have to slide between the boulder traps and around. And as you meet the stairs in the middle of this long, dark corridor, you step up, and there's an archway at the top of these stairs. The walls are made out of old sandstone and all pitted. They have worn runes and glyphs still etched in them. And as you step up, you hear the mechanical creaking of someone standing. And inside, Chester, Makra, and Elzef, you see Fila Deadbolt, the guardian that was here before. A feminine form on a warforged. She wears a red cloak, and you see that she's had a change of clothing since. Obviously, her husband has been down. The warforged that guarded the tomb, remember, had been her husband. He is nowhere to be seen, but she is currently now wearing what looks like a breastplate that's got a nice sheen on it. She has a short sword and a shield, and as you walk in, she stands. Her eyes glow slightly yellow, then gold. Oh, it's you with more friends. And then she walks over towards you guys, her footfalls making a clanking sound as she comes. And you can see the inner workings as over the millennia she's been here. Bits of her have fallen off. She's aged. You see parts of rust and speckles of rust across her face. What are you doing back? Below her, she walks across, is this faceted kind of like huge garnet-like crystal. A semi-transparent. And inside you see the avatar of Mystra, some 10 foot tall. Her white wispy hair flying out in all different directions. Her eyes are closed and her hands are set upon her heart. There is a dried, bloody wound on her left side, and she seems to be wearing, I'll be honest, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any spells that can heal a guard?
I mean, it's a warforged. I could probably take a hammer and go at it, but I barely know her, and I don't think she has money, so...
What?
You've also just absorbed some ridiculous amount of power. I imagine you could channel that into something to maybe put her back on her feet.
I mean, there's a lot of options. But let's move on to the interesting stuff, the encased goddess.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you meant the warforged. I thought you had some altruistic warforged restoring.
Is that a guard as well?
Oh, I thought your accent is so weird. I thought you said God, not God.
Oh, the deity, of course.
Sorry, Leon, I must have missed this detail. Is she still encased?
Yeah, she's always been encased, yeah.
Hmm.
Right, well, let's go and have a look. And I'll start investigating. And I want to ask some questions as I'm doing so about the thing that we suggested, and trying to not ask the most direct question, but just ask like questions along the lines of, so what's the solution to this? Is it just like a permanent thing from the guard's perspective, to keep it like this forever, or is there a longer term solution that hasn't come to fruition yet, or just trying to see what she thinks about it?
So am I getting this right? So I know that the plan is to use maybe Mistra's favour to do something about this.
Well, no, the plan was to use Mistra's favor to communicate with Mystra.
Okay.
So, to figure out if she knows a way to fix this, I think, right, Rocket?
The general idea was, can it be fixed, and what tools do we have to potentially help fix it? And Mistra's favour was potentially one of the things.
Okay.
And potentially to get her verbal blessing to take over her avatar.
Yeah, just put the teenage boy into the 10 feet goddess.
Wow.
Could go wrong. I wonder if the Monosoul could potentially sustain it.
Yeah, as I was saying, if you go into your Monosoul stage, maybe get her blessing first before you do it. She might be able to help ease you in.
Fucking hell. This conversation is taking a weird turn.
If we're discussing this, I think the Void Soul would really like a go at her, probably.
Oh my.
We would. Horrible little bastard.
His shadowy tentacles would be all over her.
Can we stop, please?
I don't know what you're talking about. They're perfectly innocent questions here.
Get your mind out of the gutter, son.
Oh, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get his mind out of the gutter and into her, right?
Inside of her.
Wow.
We're just bringing forward serious solutions to this problem.
Yeah. I'm sure you are.
I swear that's all we're doing.
That is actually throwing me. I was too busy trying to call it euphemisms of inserting him into her. No, I forgot actually where we were.
You're currently discussing.
I was investigating and asking some questions to the guard about what the intent was when doing this. Like whether they just intended to keep it this way permanently, whether she knows whether that's Mystra's intended purpose here.
Okay.
Mystra probably didn't even think about it that much. It sounded like she was up shit creek, to use that term again, and panicked and wrapped herself in celestial armor. She might have an idea of how to get it, but I'm fairly certain she doesn't know how to. Or maybe she does know how to, she doesn't possess the power, maybe.
Maybe she's just procrastinating getting out there.
Yeah, there's also that. She could have just been lazy.
I mean, if there was nothing to threaten its existence, she probably wouldn't care too much about what's happening to it.
It's a fair point. I think talking to her is probably the best best way to go about this from now. Then maybe using the Mana Soul to get up inside of her.
Let's roll some checks. I want to run a medical analysis of the wound on the avatar from, like, the elevated position to see if Elsef thinks she can fix it.
Yeah, go ahead, make, Ooh, this is a difficult one. So it's going to be a series of checks. So the first thing I want you to make is an Arcana check, and then a Medicine check.
Okay, Arcana. I am gonna do something I haven't done since the start. I'm gonna cast Guidance on
Oh,
it.
fuck that. I was just about to tell you.
Which I never do, and then I'm gonna roll Arcana. Oh, that's just a 13. It's a 2. Fuck.
Are you not colluding with Laneros? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Oh yeah, we're working together, obviously, right?
Alright, yeah. I would give you that. I mean, yeah, so,
Shall I make the check?
Elsef is
you're
already
helping me
rolled.
so I get advantage, because the second roll is good, Anna. That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
so...
I was not asking as a player, I was asking.
Yeah, I'll say that I'll allow you to help one another at this point. I mean, it's an extended check, so it takes a couple of minutes for you guys to figure out that the crystal itself has sealed the wound. There's no more bleeding because of that, and you realise as you're walking around that you can see flecks of blood, of Mystra's blood, inside the actual encasement at several different positions.
Must have been bleeding heavy.
Now you guys, you can make a medicine check. You can make it separately or one with advantage.
Yeah, I got a +8. What you got, Anna?
On medicine, I think that's probably on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
well,
you ain't good at medicine.
Well, I am.
Are you actually?
Well, let me just check the grimoire. Yeah, grimoire. He just pulls out a book that says skills, but with an E on the end. Yes, actually, I'm quite proficient in most things. I'd forgotten about that.
what is that in a numerical value?
If I had to put a number on my medicinal skill, I'd say I did an NVQ BTEC level +5.
Oh, that's still on Elsa, man.
Wow.
At least Chester can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, just is helping this expert in
He's not going to help that much too.
Okay, so
Mix.
you realise there's as the wound has taken place, you can see that the shape of it is very similar to what you saw on the painting up above in the first layer of the tomb on the mosaic. It's a spear thrust, and you realise it hasn't gone all the way through. And the way that the wound looks, it looks black almost kind of split with these small veins of blackness all around where the wound has happened or occurred.
Is this like a cursed blackness, or is this like a necrotic blackness?
It looks very necrotic, yeah.
Not void.
Well, not with that medicine check.
I asked the Void Soul if he could suck that blackness out.
No. Why would I do that for you? Seeing as you had that warhead, you had that arcane energy, it fed me with glorious bliss, and then you pissed it down the drain. Me and you, Elzef, we are not on good terms. If I could leave your body, I would. But I can't. So I'm stuck in it. Therefore, I'm not helping you.
Is she constipated? Seems to go cross-eyed every now and then.
Okay, so the Void Soul is in a bit of a Lanierus mood at the moment.
Yeah,
So,
so whiny bitch.
You mean sensible mood? That's great to hear.
Oh no, he doesn't want to suck out the blackness.
Do all the souls have?
Excuse me?
Well, I
Do all
asked-
the souls have like a consciousness like that? Like, does a mana soul talk to you?
I only actually spoke to it for the first time not so long ago. Tends to be quite quiet. From my research on the souls, I think they all differ dependent on their personality.
Oh, so they do all have personalities. How bizarre.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Anyway, I asked it if it could suck out the necrotic energy from that wound if we were to, break the thing, but it said no because it doesn't feel like it. So,
Right.
Should have asked it for a Senecot.
Do we think it's healable in any way?
probably not with that medicine check.
Do we know at all what's magically wrong? Because a physical wound would be obviously easy to heal. Could I try and cast Identify through the encasing into the wound or something?
You can try if you want.
There's not really any problem with doing that.
Alright, so you begin casting, and you realise that the moment you begin casting, that this amber-like crystalline structure just absorbs magic. Nothing just goes through it.
Not even probably magic like this.
No.
Okay.
And I can't remember offhand, so please do forgive me, but doesn't Chester know a way of dealing with this that isn't 12th level magic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was getting 7 high-level wizards to kill themselves, and that's just to break the celestial prison. That's not actually to heal Mystra.
Not volunteering.
Not a wizard.
I swear there was another
Also
way.
not a wizard. I guess it's only Neros.
Technically a wizard, but go fuck yourself anyway.
Macron, no one here thinks you're a wizard.
Rude and true.
It's just funny because he does have levels in Wizard, and it's like, no, Macra, no one thinks you're a wizard. No one believes that.
Oh, give myself cramp in my neck laughing. He won't go.
Should we perhaps get some, scrolls of commune or something and try and speak with Mystra?
I thought you were going to do that whole Mystra favor thing.
Well, I thought that was more like a kind of last resort, seeing as it could be incredibly powerful and useful when the time comes for the battle.
Yeah, keep the favour for when you want to actually get up inside that, because that'll help you to do that, I imagine, with the Mana Soul.
Why don't you guys shop for these sort of scrolls, and I'll just stay here and build up some equipment to see if I can, I don't know, make sense of it.
Only if Lanera stays and keeps an eye on you.
Well, do we
I'm
really-
not gonna go blow up the tomb of Mystra while you're shopping.
I don't believe it.
Is there not an easier way to do this?
In terms of...
Well, we can just make that. Well, you can just make that happen, can't you? You don't need to scroll for that.
I could do. Depends on how much we need to ask, I suppose. I'm not particularly familiar with the spell, but I know it can be done, but I think the answers you get tend to be quite limited.
The Warforged is watching you all intently from one side of the room. You intend to attempt to communicate with my lady.
Yeah, why did we not ask
Potentially.
you what ages
You
ago?
do know I am a cleric of Mystra.
See, well, when I was asking for a cleric of Mystra...
Yeah, well, she just sat there and she
Like
got...
noses. Why didn't you shout up then, you robot?
Okay, to quickly fill you in, Mrs. Cleric of Mystra, the reason we're here is
Bila.
there's an what?
Ela.
Bless you. The reason we're here is because an army is marching from the west to this tomb to use your goddess's avatar as a vessel for their out-of-this-world space deity.
Yeah, she goes down to one knee. Tink, tink, hits the crystal. They are not getting through.
Okay, did you miss the part about the out-of-this-world space deity that leads this cult?
They have
Like,
the capability.
Chester over there is a bum with a lute, and he broke one of these things.
Yeah, that dickhead managed to get in. So these can definitely got the power to get into that.
She turns to you, Chester. How?
Reacher.
A bomb with a loot. Sorry, I'm going to be very honest and say I zoned out there. What is he answering?
How did you break the other Castus avatar? The
Little trick?
yeah.
Little trick with some 12th level magic.
Well, what? I do not know
A
what you speak
little
of.
ditty. Little spell. Scroll of Carsus's avatar. Quite the pickle.
She blinks, and you can hear the click of her shutters as she does. I still don't understand. If they come, and I am to die defending my lady, then that is what is to happen.
Okay. Confidence, good. It's an army, and you are a warforged in bad condition. So can we just go back to the point where we try to save your lady before that happens?
How rude. She looks down at herself, looks back up. I'm just old.
No one is blaming you for that. Makra is old and he's still kicking, but we're looking for solutions here and not for people to decide where to die.
I will help.
They're the words we're looking for. A lot more useful. Get in.
I'm sorry for these two, by the way.
He nods.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a personal
Laniros
thing.
and Laniros and Chester are just terrible.
Nothing but honest. Yet a little spacey.
She takes one step towards you, Elzef, and then she looks you up and down and says, I would trust the Fey Elf more than I would trust you. Because I can see what surrounds you, the filth that coats your soul.
Oh yeah, she's definitely got some evilness in it, but I think she's that much of like a cock where it's kind of like a tangential dickheadness, where like this one wants to be a massive dickhead, but because she's this much of a dickhead already, it can't do anything about it really.
Oh, this is gold! I've just realised. I'm back with you lot. Chester pulls out a notebook and starts scribbling. Sexy robot says Elzef has sexually transmitted disease on sale.
But you didn't absorb that through an STI, did you?
No, Chester put it in me.
Oh
So
god.
it was an STI.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm damn sounds like an STI, mate.
Maybe a twist question mark. Walk-in clinic in Mokhul. No, too cliche.
I mean, you can trust Laneiros more than me. I don't really care all that much. Just like talk to your goddess and ask her how we can make it alright.
Yeah, do you have the ability to do that? Can you ask your god how to fix? I imagine you'd have already done that if you knew how to do that.
I speak to my god every day.
Like
What
in
are
a
you talking
metaphorical
about?
sense, or like does she actually speak to you?
I said I speak to her. I never said that she replies.
Exactly.
What do you tell her? Because don't you just spend all day in this room?
My thoughts, my worries.
That must be really samey programming if you just hang out here. For
No,
100
she never replies.
She narrows her shutters and says, before this world was created the way it is now, I spent a millennia with my kind. I had friends. I had wants and needs until the Asgardians brought me along. We were slaves. The Warforged. Programmed to kill. I had friends, a big group of them. In fact, if I didn't have my duty here, I would go out to find them. I've had news trickle down.
So you tell her your life story. Okay.
I've
I'm
had,
really sorry she doesn't respond.
I've had responses. Just
Let's start ignoring her because she's obviously just trying to wind you up here.
I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
I guess you're not a kind of like wind up robot. No.
That's a good one, Macron.
Stop it! You bring out the worst in me. Right. Do you have a way of getting your god to talk back to you?
yes, but not in the conventional sense. I do not hear her words. I receive signs. Visions.
Signs are good. We've got smart people that can interpret signs with Maisie and Anna. So let's get some signs, some vague concepts. We'll take them back to them two. They can do some research.
Maybe good at science.
Laneiros and Elsef can stay here and build up some... What did you want to do? Build up some machinery to do what?
Well, that's what I said I would do. Honestly, I'm just gonna go down to the flight apparatus and figure out how to blow this thing up.
There's
So
a
that if it comes to blowing this thing up, I can do it.
There's
Right,
a flash
okay.
of light, by the way. In the corner of the room, there's a flash of light and the sound of water. And looks like Fila has dragged a nearby urn and cast Create Water. And she looks at you and says, I need holy water. And then she begins casting the ceremony.
Right, yeah, you do that. Right, so you look at the potential schematics of blowing this place up. Maybe can you not make a machine so it makes it easier to get in at her in the... I don't know, mate. You're the one who works with machines. Is there no way you can make it easier for us to, like, some way, like, that can, like... You know his big orbital beam that he does? It shoots down. But, like, small form orbital beams into the armour so it's easier for us to overtake the body. I don't know. Well, mate, I know a way. A machine you can come up with. A machine that heals the like mortal wounds when she comes out of the arm. That comes out of the stone.
Macro, I know you're not like mechanically inclined, but I can't just do whatever.
What the? What are you here for then?
Chester went through an entire journey over the entire world to get 3 scrolls, of which only exists 1 each, to cast a spell to unfuck this thing, and you think I can spend a weekend putting together a machine to drill through it?
No, right, okay, not to drill through it. That was a bad idea. A machine to heal her as soon as she comes out of the stone. So we're going to figure out a way for Mystra to break her out of the stone that doesn't require 3 scrolls of bullshit. But then we need a way of like keeping the body stable until we can get boy band into it.
I mean,
If that's even a possibility, maybe we should just have some quiet for a while Fila does her thing.
She's cracking on. She's happy as pie in the corner there.
She's probably just happy to hear someone talk after reciting poetry to her goddess for 2 centuries.
8.
What if
I hear
build-
people talk quite a lot, and I'm really not happy about hearing any of this.
What if we just built a big coffin of stasis and we just dump the avatar in there as like a makeshift box to transport it?
You see, I had some embers of ideas, and you've introduced your tinder to it there, and now we've got a fire of an idea.
Yeah, I'll consider that after looking at the thing to see if I can blow it up.
Yeah, exactly. You two can crack on with that. You can crack on that with Laneros. Us three can go shopping. And then to also tell your girlfriend and your girlfriend. Oh yeah, that's gonna be like a weird. There you go. You can do double date it. You can double date to tell them that they need to research the ideas that we're gonna get from her, and then I can get some fucking elven boots.
Hey, Alwyn, you can double date with the guy whose girlfriend wants to cut off his dick.
Oh god.
Just
No,
think
I don't
how good
actually
that
have a
makes
girlfriend, you know.
though. Like, she's going to be across the table wanting to murder him. Like, Anna's going to be swooning over you, mate. She's going to be all over that prepubescent.
Oh my god.
Just like pick a
He's
restaurant.
18! Why do you keep saying that?
Just pick a restaurant that only serves soup, so there's only spoons and no knives.
What level spell is cast to summon earplugs?
I'd say a sushi
Would
bar.
know.
I'd say a sushi bar, but she'd definitely murder him with a chopstick.
Right, okay, so Fila finishes casting her spell, Ceremony, and she's now got the urn of holy water, and she turns and says, I am ready whenever you are.
Oh yeah, please go ahead. We're done.
And then she begins moving her hand, and they begin glowing, and they creak as they go. And as she... Oh, mine did too then, that was weird. And she begins casting in a wide circle, and the water begins to move and swirl up, almost like she's water bending. And then it forms an orb, and then she begins casting while whispering towards it. And then in your vision, Alwyn, with your permanent detect magic, you see all schools of magic swirling within the water, forming a complete white sphere. To the rest of you, it just looks like a ball of ice is forming. And as she holds it up, she blows it away, and it turns into fine mana. And then it falls all around her in a big ring. Almost like Saturn's rings, all the way around her. And then she looks towards you guys, and she says, you have 3 questions. I will ask them for you.
Don't even fucking open your mouth. Laneros, maybe me and you should think this one over.
Yes, I agree. Please wait until we've formulated the questions and agreed on them before actually asking them. Is that okay?
Why are it always 3 questions, would you say?
That is not one of the 3 we're going to be asking, so could you please shut up?
Love it.
No, oh, that would be so funny. But just suddenly...
Right, 3 questions.
Right, well, I must excuse myself. Before I can think clearly, I need to go and take a piss in the corner.
How many corners has this place got?
It's got none, it's a circle. I guess 1. Mathematically.
Do you want to have a quick break, Liam? Or
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute break and we'll be back
okay.
soon. All right, yeah, we're back. Curtis isn't back yet, but he's the barbarian. I doubt he's asking many questions to the Avatar Mystra.
The wizard.
Yeah,
Look, that's a wizard fighter barbarian to you.
he does have.
Carpenter.
He does have a lot.
So, whether they're the questions or not, I suppose the key things that we need to know are: does Mystra think it's possible for us to do something to heal her or restore her in some way? And secondly, would she allow us to do such a thing?
You think that's the order?
I think those are the key points that we need to address. How we word and question it, I think those are the points that we need to find out.
Right, yes. No, agreed.
And not sure what else we could potentially ask in terms of yes and no's, really.
Okay, so as you ask that or feel, she begins bringing her hands up.
We haven't asked that.
Oh, okay.
Those are the questions that have been asked.
We're having a discussion.
Okay. I won't use up that precious, precious question.
Yes, no, I agree. So I think we could phrase the questions as: would you allow any of us to try and break you free from this prison? And we could ask the question and heal you, but I think it would be better to ask them as separate questions, since we then know exactly what the answer is if there's a no. Because if any of the parts would be answered with no, we'd get a no anyway. So let's ask: can we break you out? Can we heal you? And then the third one, well, it would be good if we get some clue about how, but perhaps a question that we could ask is: are there any clues in your tomb that could guide us to a solution on how to do this? Because then we at least know that we could look around here some more.
What about something along the lines of, in terms of the magic we're speaking of in how we would heal her, perhaps a question like, is there a mortal spell capable of healing you in this state? And that would kind of divide whether we're capable of doing it or whether she would have to have some kind of divine intervention, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that sounds okay. So, questions then would be: would you allow any of us to break you out of this, to break your avatar out of its prison? Do you know of a way? Well, how should we phrase the question about the healing?
I think along the lines of what I said with regards to kind of separating the barrier between the type of power we're dealing with, like, is there a mortal means for one of us or even someone on this realm to break you free or to heal you, depending on which one we're going for? Perhaps both.
Yes. Well, I think preferably we would ask about the healing first, because with no previous introduction, asking this question might be a bit... Well... Okay.
Healer's just sat down on top of the dome of the crystal, folded her legs, and these stars, these motes of magic have began rotating above her head.
Just assume this took place in the 10 minutes of ceremony.
Yeah, she closes her eyes and, meditates, just
I like to think that Elsa and Makra are off to the side, spitballing stuff they could be asking that wouldn't, like, further them in any way, but would be fun to ask.
What's the easiest way to blow up your tomb? How big an explosion can we have?
Could I take over your job afterwards? Would you be opposed to that?
So I'll just paste them in check as I've written them out to see whether we agree with the
Mhm.
questioning.
Is there a 10th level kill goblinoid spell no one has ever told me about?
Yep, seems reasonable to me.
Okay, so are we going ahead with this? Is this a...
And which one should we ask first? I mean, the third one pretty clearly indicates our intent, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think that's best asked last, because then at least she understands that we intend to sustain her when we break her out.
Yep. Okay. So in that order.
And also, if one of those comes up null, then we can potentially rephrase later questions, because if we can't heal her, we're not going to attempt to break her out, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a mortal means to heal you on this planet? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fila stands, brings her hands out, and says out loud, "Is there a mortal means to heal you on this planet, my lady?" The motes of orbs begin forming around her, form a constellation. Fila nods, and then they form into another ring around, this time around her right hand that she holds up. She says, "There is a way."
It's a good start.
It is.
Please continue if you would.
My lady, he kneels down holding aloft the disc of stars. "Is there a mortal means to break you out of this prison you are stuck in?" And then they fly away from her, form a spear, constellation of a spear above the entire dome of this underground chamber. He nods. "There is." And then they form back out. And this time they fly around her, like snaking around her body, and then appear into the left hand as a ring.
Is that supposed to indicate, like, Odin's spear or something? Could shatter this.
Isn't
That's
that
what she meant
thing-
by, like, signs? Feeler.
Isn't that spear stuck in the Feywild?
She shrugs. "I don't know how that works. That is Gungnir, the constellation, but I do not know how that relates to being able to break her out."
Very well. I think I'm happy to continue for the third question, Loneris.
So yeah, some research.
Agreed.
Okay, so she begins speaking. "My lady, would you allow any of them," and she indicates you all, "to break your avatar out of its prison to help save this world from an otherworldly threat?"
We probably should have specified one of us to. Now she'll say no.
The stars begin flying away from her hands.
Yeah, so the intent of the question, in case you want to phrase differently, is there any of us that you would allow to do so? Not
Yeah.
like can any of us do that, like a random one, but is there one among us that you would allow to do so?
Yeah, she indicated you as a party, so...
Good use of English, Arnie.
The stars fly from her hands and begin heading towards, believe it or not,
It's gonna be
Chester.
Chester. Yep.
Then, as they swirl around Chester, they head towards Laneros. They swirl around Laneros, then back to Alwyn. And then Macra.
That's fantastic. That's a laughing fest. You're good company, guys. Wow.
Just like full on fist pumping.
I know, it makes perfect sense. I would abuse the hell out of her powers. No more gnolls on my street, I can tell you that much.
And she says, "Thank you." And the motes explode into small ethereal constellations above you, then nova, and then just disappear, leaving the room bathed in kind of a small, like, ethereal white light.
Right, I might have slightly over-exaggerated with my celebration there, because I guess it is a pretty low bar if this fucker can do it as well. thumbing over to Chester.
I'm just glad that you are considered an equally powerful wizard to our man Laniras over there.
Well, I think the findings here is that regardless of how little of a wizard he may be at times, he's still less of an asshole than you.
And I guess in Chester's defense, I guess he did get world-destroying power once before and didn't completely fucked up.
Oh yeah, that is entirely why Chester had world-destroying power in his hands, and he did everything right.
Yeah,
when it came to the crunch moment, Chester redeemed himself in the eyes of every god that is out of lawful or good alignment. Like, you know.
Laniros, I'll have you know, I have the soul of being an asshole inside of me, so I really am the king of assholes on this planet.
Yeah,
The thing was that the question that we really are all asking ourselves, and I'm not really sure whether we can rely on your answer on this one, is that your half of the soul? Or is the other soul inside you that's making you like you are?
Oh no, that's entirely
I
me. You
assume
can
she
ask.
just meant the half she got back.
Yeah, that's what I figured as well, but you know. So I'm not sure how that works in your defense.
Oh,
You
I
just
wasn't
say-
defending myself, I was crowning myself.
Ah,
That makes sense.
well, there you go.
I mean, you could have just asked anyone in Mokhul City pretty much how I was before I lost my soul, and they would have easily admitted that I wasn't very likable before.
Thank you for your help, Feeler.
He nods. I would like to offer my help in any way, if it would help heal my lady here.
If you have any understanding on how we could heal your lady, we know it can be done now, but we still lack the means.
It's difficult.
Well, at least the knowledge.
I mean, conventional healing spells will not heal that wound. We need someone of a higher caliber than me that can cast magics long dead.
Okay.
It's a catch-22 because she herself banned that available magic. Yet now she needs it to be free or healed.
Could you describe it
what
to us
this
so can we
magic is?
research it? Sorry, Alwyn, I interrupted you. Go on.
Not a problem. Same question anyway.
Bela will quickly make a check, because obviously she's not omniscient. Wait, let me figure this out. She's a knowledge cleric, so let's give her...
Yeah, but Makra is a wizard, so...
Well, she rolled
What a title to me.
well, she rolled a 31, so... I'm assuming that you're all versed in the ways of magic. The way that magic was once graded between 1 and 13. Until it was now 1 till 9. Levels above 9 would be able to heal her.
But would the spell have to be... Would a 10th level cure wounds do it, or would I need a higher caliber?
Probably a higher caliber.
Yeah. Is there still, like, records of the spells? Somewhere.
Bela looks around. You'd have to visit old, very old buildings. Like, she smiles. Like this one.
Makra, you can hear Makra having a mutter to himself. And he comes out, he's like, right, I want to take credit for this big brain moment, but one of the ancestral fuckers have just communed with me. You know how she just got wrapped up in this armor as she was dying? Oh, get that. Yeah, maybe this is the issue with it as well. Another one's just spoken to me. Yeah, I was thinking a revivify would still work if that was umped up to that level because she's only just died. But technically, she's not actually dead in that armor, is she?
No, Revivify works after she has died.
Yeah,
so we
she's
would
not
already be down. I wouldn't be able to cast Revivify.
Yeah, there's fucking shadows talking bollocks. That was one on like my great uncle's side. You always talk shit.
I could just imagine you've got your entire ghostly family around you that just all discussing.
He was just having like a group huddle of just like, any ideas? I know this is really out of our realms of possibilities and capabilities, but I've suddenly got the power to cast shit like this. This is the issue. I'm kind of like the Avatar at this point that's just figured out spirit bending. It's like none of the other ones have any knowledge of spirit bending, so they can't really help me on it.
I feel like I could cast powerful healing, but not. It would take me more power to cast it than I could provide within the casting, if that makes sense.
What if we would, like, ritualistically channel all of our 10th level spell slots into some sort of super heal?
Feeler blinks. Wait, what?
Oh, look. So we sort of dabbled in otherworldly artifacts and absorbed their power.
Oh. And you have the capability of casting magic that powerful?
Yeah, but I don't really know a spell that powerful, so it's really just limited to casting what magic I know.
It wouldn't matter, even if you did have the spell. And your rules would not allow you to use it.
Huh.
Didn't he do one that powerful like the other week, thumbing at Olwen?
Yeah, no, he did a spell. Wait.
I have used it, yes. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's weird because the Marna Soul kind of projects its own weave at the same time, so I don't know how that necessarily works in Mystra's weave. It's a strange thing. I don't fully understand it myself.
What do you know about the Marna Soul, if anything? Thumbing at the Warforged cleric.
What were you going to say, Chester? Chester was going to say something as well, sorry.
No, it's alright, to be fair. Carry on, it was just going to be side fluff. Please do continue.
The Mana Soul?
Yeah.
All I know is that when the Asgardians were done with their war, they made them out of the primordial elements that were left over on this planet.
So, but what do you know in conjunction with, like, you know how Mystra's weave's stopping us from casting these higher echelons of power because she's banned them? Yeah, we now have the ability to cast them because we've got some otherworldly stuff that allows us to cast them. How does that affect that with the Mana Soul?
I don't know. And she says, she turns to you, Owen, and says, I can tell that there is an overlaying effect here. Whatever you have does, as you say, have its own weave, if not as powerful.
It does seem to be that. I don't know how powerful it is, but I don't know. I can feel it myself. I can see it practically. They interweave at times, but yeah, with one weave gone, I feel like I could still use the magic. I don't know, to tell the truth. I suppose. I mean, this is the question we need to ask, really. Unfortunately, we've kind of missed our opportunity, but is it possible to heal her before she's broken out? Because if that is the case, then I could just try and heal her. But if it needs to be kind of like a simultaneous thing where we break her out and heal her to prevent her dying, then, well, that's a hell of a risk.
Oh, if we could heal her before we break her out, I could still blow up the tomb. Because then she'd already be fixed and she wouldn't die from it.
Also, kind of defeating the point of blowing it up if there's nothing left to really take from here.
Yeah, man.
Could you just stop with the blowing up thoughts? Thank you.
Well, they're still gonna come here, so I would still be blowing up the army, Laniros.
I feel like that's not necessarily... I feel like you're very fixated on this personal enjoyment part of blowing up the tomb, and you're just making up excuses as to why it's not a terrible idea.
What do you think I'm sticking around? Just like generosity?
No, let's put it that way. No, that's not what I expect from you.
Exactly, I'm here to blow up, do stuff like blowing up the tomb of Mystra.
I thought it was allegiance to Chester.
What? No. I mean, I'm very thankful he solved the whole being soulless thing, but I stuck around babysitting his wife-to-be for a few weeks, so I feel like we quit.
Should we maybe just make the attempt? I mean, on the healing side at least. And then, if it doesn't work,
It doesn't work.
we have to wait and we figure the next way out.
Yes.
I
Fila,
would suggest
hold on.
that the prison is absorbing all magic, so doing it through the prison is going to be a bit of a crap shot.
Exactly, that's what we're discussing.
Yeah, I mean, that was just my suggestion that we don't try that. If it's going to take, like, resources like your favor from Mystra or anything on that level.
But it's not. We're going to be using our highest level of magic.
Okay, well, that's alright. We get that back on daily anyway.
Fila says that she's going to try something. Well, give me a D5 first, and then I'll see who does it. Can we have Chester roll a D100? She's going to try a divine intervention.
Indeed.
You get below a 12.
Why did you use Complisol?
Roll a hand, with accomplice hold.
You want to roll low for this.
Didn't even...
Sorry!
There's literally buttons at the bottom.
No way.
Just gonna just for the sake of it. No better.
No. So, as she begins to use divine intervention, she says, "Alas, I've not garnered her attention. Answers would help here. Clear answers.
You'd think she'd take a bit more of an interest in this, wouldn't you, really?
So what we have is one specific detail that does bother me here is the constellation of Gongnir.
How come?
Must symbolise something. But
Yeah.
I have not left this tomb in some very long time."
We'll get Anna and Maisie on that, I reckon.
Maybe we need to make peace with Odin?
My hunch was use the spear to break her out. I mean, the spear
Yeah, I mean, that would also
formed
make sense.
when we was asking the question about how to break her out.
This isn't the same spear that the Feyfather had, was it?
No, I feel like that spear is
It
somewhere
is.
in the Feywild, just stuck around.
Yeah, it's stuck in a pool. There was minerals that we were going to mine illegally there. Shit, I wasn't meant to tell you, Ross. Yeah, there's some minerals there that we were going to illegally mine.
I would still like to illegally mine those minerals if you're okay with that, Laneros.
Yeah, we're going to mine them minerals, and we're going to get that spear.
Illegally.
Now, let's evaluate your statement there, Elseth. You would like to do that if I'm okay with it.
I'm still gonna do it if you're not okay with it, but then we won't tell you.
Very good. Your use of language was incorrect, but your statement was clear. As for Gungnir, we can ask the Feyfather. He must know about its current whereabouts and...
We know its current whereabouts. It's in a pool of water where he submerged
No, we know the whereabouts of where you last saw it. Those are not the current whereabouts. We can ask about the current whereabouts, or we can check the current whereabouts. And then we can ask him as well whether
Yes,
or not, for this purpose, he thinks it is permissible to take it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it makes sense to ask him to learn the location, but that doesn't make sense to ask him if he doesn't want us to have it.
It's gonna be a tough choice for the grumpy old
It does,
man.
because
Give us the...
otherwise, what would happen is that we're doing something behind his back which he's not supporting, and we need his support, as you mentioned previously, in the upcoming fight. So, denying him the opportunity to know about what is going on is not going to gather the response you want. You need to think beyond the easiest of steps sometimes to see what's better for the future.
Right, we'll ask. We'll ask him then. I think it's going to bode well, though.
Did we kill, God, I can't even think of his name. Fire Soul.
Harley Aiden.
No, we killed
It turned out-
Doppelganger.
Yeah, it turned out to be a simulacrum cast by Loki.
Shame.
Naughty.
But we did
That was
try.
at least
That's got to
some
count
favour.
towards something.
Yeah, we'll give it a good effort.
Okay, I would venture a guess here and say that Laneros doesn't want me to come along on this diplomatic mission to the Feywild anyway. So I would just stay here and have a look at the tomb's whereabouts, and Makra can go with and mine those crystals he wants.
No, I
And,
feel like you need to come because I feel like if this spear's moved, we're going to be battling some shit to get it, and probably best we're all there to battle what's ever now defending it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Another jaunt back to the Feywild. This will be interesting.
I feel like this is like the Fey Father's property, and he's not gonna have it in a space that is surrounding him.
I feel like the entire point of him leaving it in a random pool to grow evil crystals somewhere is no longer his property.
If we all go, though, aren't we handing Liam a dangerous opportunity to go from like 45 days to like -2?
Yeah.
Oh yes,
You little bastard!
that's a good point, Chester. We should have at least someone here who is not affected by the Feywild time warp.
Exactly, like a little stopwatch, but
Yeah,
grounded in reality.
Which should be me, because then I can still blow up the tomb if worst comes to worst.
That's a good plan.
If you
actually,
don't mind, Lineros, if I could borrow your rod of attunement to the Feywild, then I could stay with Elseth, and if there's a problem, then I could transport us there.
Agreed.
Alright, as a GM, having Feywild shenanigans be separate garners a lot of weirdness. If you know what I mean, because of the way that time warps work.
What you mean is, what a fucking headache I've got to deal with.
Yeah! I was going to say, that sounds like a you
He's
problem,
like,
sir.
stick together, you bastards!
Well, we're being smart. Don't blame us for being smart.
it had to have happened at least once this campaign.
It's like, yeah, Mike and Curtis, I'll see you in 4 Tuesdays' time. Arne and Todd, I'll see you in 8.
Look, there's a giant old apparatus in this tomb. I'm playing an artificer. I need to do one artificer thing in this campaign at least.
So, like, what you see what I'm trying to get at? Like, if you're all going to go to the Feywild, I would, as a GM, like to ask you all to either go as a group, because it would be, or someone, or if Lineros goes, remember he's not affected by Fey time warp shenanigans. So that's, see what I mean? Is you can go, but if any of you mortal people go, I will be rolling for it. Like,
Yeah, it might be just worthwhile sending Lineros, even if it's just to ask the Fey Father, what's the crack with the spear, can we have it? Because if he just turns around and goes, no, fuck off, then we're not... there's no point of risking that time warp if we aren't going to get anything from it. So it might be worth just sending Lineros to ask.
Maybe Lineros can just recover it by himself.
That's also a possibility. If it isn't being defended by the armies of the Feywild, or the evil of the Feywild.
Those are my friends, you know that, right?
Right, seeing your friends is like saying I'm friends with every fucker in Mokhul City. It's not how it works, is it? You don't know everyone in the Feywild, do you?
No, when we're talking about the court. You know.
Oh yeah, no, the court are full of snakes and...
The court sort of puts me on trial for stealing my invention without paying me, and then using half of my soul to create offspring, which we then fought. I'm not on good terms with the Feywild court, and I don't think they're great people.
wow, now you put it like that. Adrian,
I'm
that is
sure
fucked
that
up. That is
feeling is
actually-
mutual.
I mean, obviously the feeling is mutual because they royally fucked me over and then put me on trial.
Yeah. Yes, that is fine. I can go by myself. I do not mind. I am from there, and I'm sure that
Cool.
all
If
will
I
be
might
well.
still attune to the rod, so if there's any
Yes.
issues, we could still join you.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you using a potion of superior healing? It didn't take damage.
He just likes the taste.
I don't even know. I'm cleaning my keyboard, and I must have hit the number 9. I've not even got any potions of healing, to be fair. That's something on the shopping list as well with the elven boots. I need to go get some more. I'll click
Very
on-
well. Let's Well then, I suppose I should not waste time, should I?
Good luck.
But yeah, see you soon.
Only one problem. Tomorrow's the earliest I can go.
Oh, because you teleported us.
Can you plane shift other people without going yourself?
Yeah.
I could send you. Now that I'm attuned to the rod.
Have you used your 10th level slot to plane shift?
Yes, but also no.
Suggestion?
I know. The problem is I don't have it prepared. So
Oh.
Yeah, I've got it in the rod, so or the staff, the magi. So
but no, you can't send someone else.
You can.
You can
make an attack to do it.
You can banish someone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
I suppose technically it is your home plane. You are getting banished to it.
Oh yeah, that works. That's the lowest level spell.
No, when you
But don't do that because it goes to a random location on the plane. So, like you don't get to choose where I end up in the Feywild, and the Feywild's big, so that would not help.
Thought everyone in the Feywild was your friend.
I could technically go with
Everyone's
you.
my friend, and I need to walk for 27 days to get to where I need to go. What's the point of not just waiting until tomorrow?
I thought you Feywild bullshit. You could walk through a door and get where you want to go.
If you know of a teleportation circle in the Feywild, I could take you there.
We could also just wait till tomorrow.
That is actually a point, and I'll just start casting teleportation circle.
what to go where? Home in the Feywild?
Yeah.
You still need to be plane shifted.
Oh, okay, not the teleportation circle on
No.
the house planes.
No.
No, but if you plane
okay.
shift and you know a teleportation sigil, you can plane shift to that exact place.
Okay. Yeah, still, I think that only works if you come with, so...
Could technically
It's okay.
do that.
I will use my 9th level slot for this, then that's fine, I guess. So I'll cast Wish, then use that to cast. Plane shift to end up at the teleportation circle.
Are you going to the teleportation straight into Totemic Falls? Like the capital? Or are you going...
I don't see any reason why I would not just directly go there.
Give me a second.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I've got to do? This has been a while. I've actually got to load up roll 20.
I'm thinking about it. If you wanted to keep your 9th level, I could just banish you to the Feywild so you end up anywhere, and then you can teleportation circle straight to where you want to go.
It's okay, I'm already gone.
Yeah.
I imagine there's you don't want to chance it with the Feywild. There's probably some awful places in the Feywild you just don't want to be at.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Like really anywhere in Neuros is. Or any other Fey.
And he says that as he finishes casting spell, he's like, oh, finally.
Yeah, do you go back to your home or do you appear in the courthouse?
Yeah, if we can go to the courthouse directly, that'd be lovely.
Alright, so yeah, you appear at the Summer Spires. Immediately, there's that sense of being home, sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
It's warm, you can hear the familiar sounds, and as you walk past the pixie that stands at the door, she looks at you and goes, "Ah, Linneris, welcome home."
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, although I fear it won't be for long.
It's okay.
Although, you never know, really.
Yeah. Well, welcome home. In fact, the Feyfather was asking about you a couple of days ago.
Very good. Could you check if he's able to see me now?
Me? Oh, one moment. Bzzz. She has bee wings instead of the usual diaphanous sort of other wings that pixies have, and she makes a buzzing sound as she disappears into the busy main antechamber. Above you, the skylight looks out upon a bright blue sky, but stained with the sickly yellow of the coming comet, just visible enough for you to see it. As usual, you're waiting around for a bit, and very shortly, the moon rises. The sky goes black and dark and filled with stars, and you are led into the main throne chamber. Sitting there, next to Vagor, or the Feyfather, is Aching Heart, the huge troll that is the general of his forces. He hunches over slightly as he looks at you come in. Your sister, Valene, stands there, arms folded, shining breastplate, green hair tied up into a large ponytail, swords at her belt. And all of Vagel's sons, Vincent, Yuru, and Vel, all sit upon their thrones, their princely thrones. And the Fey Father stands, and he's wearing kind of like peasant's garb, with a torn kind of vest, revealing his purple muscular skin. His horns sprout out, great and stag-like, and he wears the blindfold over his eyes. He stands up, folds his arms, and you can see the rippling muscles and the tattoos. Laniros, you're back. It was only a couple of days that I had sent your brother to find you at that workshop. What news do you have of this sickly threat coming?
Well, there's quite a lot. And I'll bow after saying it, knowing that I don't need to be super formal, but still. Proprietary is always good. So he bows and then resumes his story and says, there's a lot going on, and the armies on the material plane are hesitant to rally against his threat. Some of them are. A lot of them are ignoring it, saying it's not a threat to them at the moment, so they're not going to respond to it, not realizing the magnitude of this issue. Rather than trying to convince them, which would be rather pointless at this point if they've dug in their heels, we tried to see what we could do, forge some alliances, settle some disputes between various armies where, well, some were more or less successful. I had to fight a few wars in the meantime.
Whatever,
busy, really.
Whatever they're doing on the material plane doesn't bother me. Wars, I need to know if we fixed this. And he points towards the sky and the yellow comet.
Yes, so fixing it seems that we'll need a concerted effort, not just from here, but also from the material plane, as that was the reason for me explaining this.
Uh-huh.
They intend to do something, well, we think they intend to do something which would be quite detrimental for everyone. There is an avatar of Mystra stored in her tomb, and they wish to take over this body, presumably to make an avatar of whatever this deity is that's coming towards us.
There's a silence from him, and you feel like there's a silence that tells you to pause as he stares at you. You say an avatar of Mystra is on the material plane.
Yes.
He looks to his sons, who look back at him. Where?
Visible, at least, on the material plane. I'm not sure if she's technically there. It's complicated. I'll get to it later. That's not really important for now. The thing is that we asked Mystra herself whether or not it would be permissible to break her out and ensure that this chain of events cannot take place by breaking her out, healing her. And it seems that we are able to do so, but we need Gungnir. There's
a chatter among the sons the moment you say that. You've caused a ripple, and even your sister gives you this glare like... And then she takes a step back and goes...
No, sister, you know that I've never minced my words. I am diplomatic, but I will never hold back the truth if I feel it furthers the conversation.
You want Gungnir?
No, I do not want Gungnir. Gungnir is required for this task. That is a completely different story.
He looks around.
It does not have to be me wielding it. As a matter of fact, I'd prefer not to.
So you need Gungnir to free Mystra?
Correct.
Holds out his hands. Then let me help you, Laniros. And there's a smile on his face.
I knew he was fucking evil. Why did we let Laniros do this by himself?
I mean, we knew he was evil. We just think, like, the other, the son of the God King, he's on our side for this otherworldly god issue. So, I mean, he was an evil dick.
I feel like we need to assassinate another dictator.
I feel like we should, pick our fights wisely right now, because we have a limited amount of days and only so many dictators we can kill in those.
Whatever the solution is you come up with, I currently do not see any other viable path to preventing this disaster.
I want to help Laneros. I need to stop whatever this is. I will retrieve Gungnir. It's been some time. I laid it to rest because of its corruptive abilities. But if I am required to wield it again, and fate has led me to that, then I will. But there is one problem.
Perhaps there's something I can do. What I would suggest is do not... Well, let me put it this way. You prefer not to wield it due to it being corrupted, yes?
Nods.
There's perhaps something I can do that... It wouldn't stop it, but it would make it easier for you to resist the corruption for a brief moment. If indeed your intention is to only wield it for a brief moment.
He nods. I have one problem, Laneros.
That's very fortunate.
Enter the material plane without aid. And you, well, your new friends killed my high priest, the one that could help. In fact, they didn't just kill him, they tortured him and then hung his body over a bridge.
I do not feel like I should, well, try and defend them. They're not necessarily my friends. We share a common goal, and this goal must be achieved, and they are a means to an end, just as Gungnir is.
Would you like it? Right now?
No.
I didn't think so. One of his sons stands up and goes, Father, this is Vel. Father, I don't think you can shut up and sit down, know your place. And then immediately chastises his son, who sits back down, looks a bit sheepish. Tell me what you need of me.
What can we do to get you onto the material plane?
Well, I need to be summoned.
Right. In what method exactly?
A version of me could be summoned using Planet Ally.
Very well. Would that do?
It may. But you would require some expensive material components to actually bring forth an avatar. And he looks you up and down and says, I sense that you have powerful magic in you now.
Yes, I can handle that.
Well, then use it. You should be able to bring me forth. A gate spell may work.
Either option is available.
Yeah, so he does basically say a gate spell upcast would work. Like, you know.
Upcast to 10th level, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it need to be 10th? I'm just reading the spell.
Well, 9th level, yeah, you could probably, using gate, summon a powerful planar ally, right? So
No, I mean, I could just gate and...
Yeah, but he's an avatar. You can try it. I'm not going to stop you, obviously.
I mean, if we know 10th works, why not just use 10th?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
The issue is having the 10th level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the times, this is the issue, the same with the healing spell, is technically you're not getting a 10th level spell. You're using 10th level wish to cast a 9th
Yeah.
level spell.
So someone needs to know gate.
Exactly, that's the problem. Like, I don't know gate.
No, I know.
Go and learn gate.
Yeah, this is also the same problem with the healing spell as well. No one knows a
Yeah.
10th level healing spell.
Okay. Do you happen to have any scrolls of gate?
Vagel, the Faithfather, looks around, and there's like a look of confusion among most of the people here. I do not, but there is members of the Marsh Gardens that may. Do you remember we last came here and there was and Xerxil made friends with like a celestial fucking being? He's mentioning basically those. There is a council of Fey celestial beings in the Marsh Gardens that are very, very powerful. The one that Xerxil that mentioned when you were here, the nearest, was Countess Leandra Moonlight.
It's really at the fucking talking carp, aren't it?
Yeah.
I just want to point this out. You could also use Gaze once you have it to summon Gwyneth for the final battle, which would be a horrible use of a 9th level spell slot.
Fucking hell.
It would be like Avengers, basically. Except instead of, this awesome army, you get a dwarf and a bow.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, Faithful says, without powerful magic like that, I don't think you'd be able to call me to the material plane. I gave up that privilege a long time ago.
Very well. And what other options would you consider? As mentioned, I do not wish to wield Gungnir. I have seen what it does and
Then destroy it.
seen what it does to you, but I'm sure I could convince someone to.
Then destroy it, Laneros.
Afterwards, you mean?
He looks unfazed. No, now.
And what would we do about the issue at hand in that case?
Well, it's corruptive. You have the magic powerful enough to dispel its corruption. Destroy it.
Would that not... You mean just to dispel the corruption?
I don't know. But either
Give
way,
it a go.
its existence being gone can only be a thing that betters the Feywild and the material plane. It is the very thing that stabbed her.
I understand this, but...
Oh, that would do away with the necrotic energy Elsa saw.
He leaps off of the throne or the dais and lands in front of you with a heavy thud. Come with me. And places his hand out.
Yep, I'll join.
Yeah, and then there's a woof, like as if the plane is being stretched rather than you teleporting. And you stand in front of a large pond.
Mm-hmm.
It's Curtis, the music's coming through from you.
No, you fucking sunk you dead loud or some reason.
Just mute yourself for now. Yeah, and there is a large pond, and around it, gnarled, twisted trees reach out towards it. And in the centre, this pond's only probably about 5 foot deep. You see the shaft of Gungnir dug, just so it's maybe an inch below the surface, and the water is crystallised on top and split with black veins that travel away from it. He points down in it. And around you, great minerals of void crystal arc out like claws, as if some giant creature from underneath has put its claws underneath the pond, and they dug out through the earth around its shore. As if it's all held in the palm of like an obsidian demon. And
God, I wants that palm.
he nods at it, says if you want it. Right here. He seems to be acting peculiar, by the way, unlike his usual self.
In what sense?
He's normally quite reserved and intimidating, and maybe it's the presence of the thing in the sky, and you can still see it where you are right now through the canopy and the trees, but you know that his essence is tied to the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he can escape that. Despite being a god of the moon, his essence is very much tied to the Feywild because of his marriage here. And he seems to be moving back and forward more. He seems to be folding his arms in a defensive posture.
Yeah, he's worried.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fine.
The mention of
Okay.
Gungnir definitely has rattled him slightly.
Yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do is it's going to be very anticlimactic in the way that it's going to happen because the power of the spell is not going to manifest in like an elaborate casting. It's just going to be as quick as it normally is. But then I guess there's a loud clap of magic as I'll cast spell magic at level 10.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, there is a loud clap, and as you fling it out, poof, there's a shatter. The crystal around you, there's like a ring of propulsion as it hits Gungnir. Bursts outwards, the void crystal shatter and go flying outwards and begin spraying down in like meteorites into the forest around you, because you are kind of on a hillock. And immediately the crystal breaks like an iceberg shattering, and as it breaks and forms these fractal kind of spikes, Gungnir is lodged upwards, and you just see this essence spin and form into what can only be described as like some sort of multi-winged angel, and she lets out a banshee's wail. And you see that Vagor recognises this figure. He grits his teeth, and he runs over, and as she tries to retreat, he brings his hand out, and you've seen it slightly before, like once or twice when there has been a void creature in the Fae, and he absorbs it. He literally brings his palm out, grabs it, opens his mouth, and you see the particles of the void, and the tendrils just move up his arms and into his mouth, and his fangs show as he brings his lips back over his gums and bares his teeth, and then crunches down on it, turns, and there's a sculp and a swallow. He's finally gone. Then he catches the spear, turns and points it towards you, flips around the shaft, and hands it over.
I'll nod reverently, hold my hands out side by side,
Mm-hmm.
for him to place it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, finally indeed. And with that, I'll use my 8th level slot to plane shift back.
Alright.
Which evil spirit was holding had hold of Gungnir then? Which void creature was it?
Nyx.
It was actually still Nyx is still in that then.
Yeah.
Was that the last remnant of it?
It was. So you finally...
Fucking hell. Nyx, get in.
She's finally gone. Like, I know you guys defeated her in the void in the previous campaign, but she's now gone.
Gone.
I know, I wish Elsef had been there. Maybe the Void Soul could have sucked her right up.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, could have. Yeah, Void Soul could have done the same thing. Same as Shane's character in our previous campaign, Galabash. He could have done the same thing. But the power goes to Vagor, which is important. It's important.
And worrying.
Right, as you go to cast Plane Shift, back at the in the tomb, all of you are standing around waiting when a great crack travels from the north face to the south face of the prison, then from the east to the west. Philo goes, whoa, what's happening? Like steps off of the crystal, and the entire tomb of Mystra begins to rumble. But that's where we're going to go ahead and end today's session.
Before that happens, Owen just shouts, Elsef!
I was gonna say, Elsef is like, motherfucker, I was gonna blow this up.
And we'll go ahead and end there on that lovely cliffhanger. But what a session. You guys did some problem solving, did some good stuff. And also, I want to thank everyone that joins the stream today. And also, I want to thank... I'm going up to find the channel. I think it was Pokyo. One moment it was. You've just been pokey raided. That was it. I want to thank the channel...
You're doing a stellar job.
Yeah, I know, right? I had it here because I want to thank the channel.
We've never had viewers before.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Poke Your Eyes Out Games. That was the guy that raided us. I want to thank him for the raid, and also thank you for all the guys that stuck around to the end and asked the questions, etc., etc. It was good to have you.
I'd like to thank Liam for the level up.
You're not getting the level up. And we'll end the session on that note.